Good evening once again. The 7 News I-Team breaking news tonight. An Amherst police officer suspended from duty, arrested and accused of lying to the FBI.
Yeah, we broke this news on this case at noon, a case involving suspected ties to organized crime. The suspect in question is Amherst Police Detective Gregory Trotter, on the force for more than 2 decades. As I-Team investigator Ed Dranch explains, this arrest goes way beyond the charge and has connections to the Buffalo Mafia.
Amherst Police Detective Gregory Trotter is on paid leave, suspended indefinitely, accused of lying to the FBI about his relationship with Peter Gerace Jr. Gerace, the owner of Pharaoh's Gentlemen's Club in Cheektowaga, was indicted in 2021 for allegedly paying bribes to a former federal agent to avoid criminal investigations and prosecution. Trotter, the 24-year veteran of the force and former school resource officer at Sweet Home Schools, is said to have minimized his relationship with Gerace, but the feds had him pegged, according to the complaint, with text messages from Gerace's cell phone showing the two were arranging social encounters. All of this coming to light after Gerace filed a police report with Amherst Police regarding a stolen watch in March 2019. Gerace telling police his watch was stolen by someone who is a former employee of Pharaoh's Gentlemen's Club and a former intimate partner of Gerace who previously resided with Gerace for a period of time. A supervisor at the local police department who does not have a relationship with Gerace assessed that the person had information that would potentially be relevant to federal agents. That unnamed person was interviewed by those federal agents who say the person gave them information pertinent to the investigation into Gerace and Pharaoh's Gentlemen's Club. But after speaking with the feds, the complaint says that person was assaulted by a former employee of Pharaoh's and a loyal friend of Gerace. The unnamed person could not figure out how and did not know how the former employee was aware of the fact that the unnamed person spoke with federal agents, the complaint explains. But according to the complaint, the relationship between Gerace and Trotter was exposed during the FBI's investigation into how that former employee knew the unnamed person was cooperating with federal agents. I've learned Trotter was paid almost $130,000 last year and is still being paid, even though he's been suspended. It's unclear how long he'll be on paid leave. Trotter, meantime, due back in federal court December 20th. For the 7 News I-Team, I'm Ed Dranch.
I'm Krista Morand. After Amherst Police Detective Gregory Trotter was arrested and charged with a federal crime, it only points to a much larger ongoing federal investigation. So I reached out to retired State Supreme Court Justice Penny Wolfgang to get her expertise on what's been going on.
I don't think I've ever seen a more complicated, lengthy case in my lifetime.
Let me walk you through it all. It began with Joseph Bongiovanni, a federal agent with the DEA who was supposed to stop the flow of drugs in Western New York. Federal prosecutors say that didn't happen, and he was accused of taking at least $250,000 in bribes to protect drug traffickers. The indictment states Bongiovanni's friends included individuals he believed to be members of, connected to, or associated with Italian organized crime in the Western District of New York and elsewhere. One of Bongiovanni's federal charges is tied to Peter Gerace, the owner of Pharaoh's Gentlemen's Club.
Whatever the charge is, they have to prove every single element of that charge in that indictment beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is a very heavy burden and very complicated.
In 2021, Gerace was indicted for paying bribes to protect his business from a federal narcotics investigation. Gerace is also the nephew of Joseph Todaro, who has been accused by federal agents of being the leader of the Buffalo mob. In 2022, Michael Masacchia, a former Buffalo school teacher, was sentenced following his guilty plea in drug and weapons charges. Bongiovanni is alleged to have taken $250,000 in bribes from Masacchia, and several others have been charged in connection to all of this.
It seems to be quite an ongoing saga involving, as I said, so many people, and it has so many twists and turns.
One of those turns when New York State Supreme Court Judge John Michalski was found dead in his Amherst home after he died by suicide. Federal authorities had called Michalski about his decades-long friendship with Gerace. Meantime, the jury selection for Bongiovanni's and Gerace's case will begin next month. Krista Moran, 7 News.